Fellas, who y'all think is the most underrated big man for like power forward or center? Who is the most underrated big man of all time? Who is the big man that don't get the love that, like, obviously we know the Shaqs and the Tim Duncans and the Kevin Garnetts and all them, but who is the big man that is the most underrated to y'all? Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give y'all some more time. I'm gonna tell y'all why I posed this question, because we was talking about Jokic and Hakeem in the group chat this week, and I was watching somebody who I don't know if this is my pick, but the post work was unbelievable. Like the post bag was endless. Kevin McHale, Quentin,
yeah,
that boy on the block,
yeah,
bro. It what you, fam, like in the they couldn't guard him. like everybody talk about Larry Bird, bro. Kevin McHale. If you watching this, when you get done watching us, please go YouTube Kevin McHale.
Bro, they had all the shit,
bro.
Yeah, that's why.
Bro.
That's why early on, whenever I watched early Operation Shingun's highlights when he was in Turkey, that was like one of the main comparisons with like just how good his footwork was on the block, and like dudes in Turkey really could not guard him down there, bro. So I feel that too. I've watched a little bit of 80s basketball, and Kevin McHale, he was like that. He was he's underrated for sure.
But his nickname was the Torture Chamber. I understand why. That's hard. That's a hard ass nickname too. But it wasn't a bro. And y'all know back in the 80s, bro, like it was a physical brand of basketball. Like on the block, you could get away with more nudging and shoving. Bro, Kevin McHale had the right hook, the left hook, the up and under. He had the drop step. He had the Hakeem. He had all that, bro. Like, it was crazy. But who y'all think though? Who y'all think the most underrated big man is of all time? Or just name drop somebody who you want to show love to.
I mean, bro, that's a great question. I'm over here thinking. I really can't. I mean, when you say underrated, I do kind of feel like all the big men that are nice, we kind of give credit to.
Like, okay, let me pose some.
When I was thinking underrated, I always think about guys that like I could compare for some reason. Like who, if I were a coach and I were the opposing five was Shaq, guys that I could, and I think guys that you just automatically don't say, but he did just get some recognition. A guy like Dwight Howard, like he has a lot going on in his personal life, but at the end of the day, like boy was a dog.
Yeah, he handled business.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and but I can't say that now because he did just kind of get his just due. But yeah, bro. I mean, when you say underrated, like I'm thinking of somebody that like people kind of like sleep on, and
I was gonna say Dwight as well, because we did not give, like, people just forget what Dwight was.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, as soon as he left Orlando and went to Houston, people just forgot that Dwight was Dwight.
He was the best big man in the league at one point, bro.
Yeah. We just don't think about that. But I'm trying to dig further back and think of bigs that were just like them niggas. And two names came to mind for me was like Mark Eaton.
Oh, Utah, big fella, Utah. Okay,
7'4". I think he averaged like 5.5 blocks one year.
He did.
He averaged 3.5 blocks or some shit like that for his career. Mark Eaton.
That's a good one, bro.
Rick Smits.
Damn. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Those are two names that just jumped out at me.
But I think when I think about them big men in the 90s, it's a lot of big men back in the day that they had high ass peaks, but injuries or some type of distraction, which prelude to what we were probably gonna talk about later.
Yeah,
happened. Like think about like Sean Kemp and Larry Johnson and my guy Derek Coleman and
Chris Webber.
Chris Webber. You know
Chris Webber.
A lot of dudes that they probably got cut a little shorter than you would have wanted. That's why it's like, but you can't really call them underrated because I feel like
That's what I was about to say, bro. Like, I don't like.
Now we can't call Sean Kemp underrated. Now I ain't saying
not Sean Kemp, but you
Webber.
can definitely call Chris Webber underrated, bro.
Oh,
it was because he played in a league that was dominated by like fucking Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Shaq.
Dirk.
And
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, since we're talking about that class of guys around that same era, even though he's kind of late in that era, one of my favorite big men of all time, who I feel like is very underrated, is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay.
I feel like LaMarcus Aldridge is very underrated because there was a time period in time where you could say it was like Dirk, KG, and then LaMarcus Aldridge is right there with those guys.
That's a good one.
I got another good one, bro. Shareef Abdur-Rahim, bro.
Wow. But see, that's somebody else that had a short ass prime because he got hurt. Because I think Reef only played like 10 years.
But that run from like 02 to 05.
Yeah.
And so, I got another.
Go ahead, my bad.
My fault, bro. But I do got another one too, and I feel like this one.
Don't say mine. Please don't say mine. Please don't say mine, bro.
No. I won't. This is not an '80s guy. This is our era guy. But I feel like this might spark some debate here because we've had conversations about this guy before in the past.
Okay.
But I feel like he's very, 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 very underrated in terms of how good he was for his team when they were arguably the best team in the league or the second best team. But Joakim Noah is very underrated, bro. I feel like people don't give him his credit for how good he was, bro. Like, nigga averaged like 14, 12, and 5 or something like that while being Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, he did. And he came top 5 in MVP vote in 1 year. I remember that. But you know that conversation y'all was having about Kyle Kuzma? Oh my!
His game is disgusting.
Oh yeah,
disgusting.
Stupid ugly, bro.
But
he got it done.
But he was very underrated, bro.
But he had like a. Now that I'm thinking, he had like a Draymond impact on.
He did impact.
He did.
He was the first Draymond for real.
Impact.
So let me ask this before you move on, bro. What when you say underrated, what classifies a player as underrated? I know that's kind of a stupid question, but hear me out. This is what I'm saying. We're talking, and I'm stuck on Chris Webber because you guys said when he was playing, he was rounded out by the KGs and the Dirks. Here's my thing. I don't necessarily know if a nigga is underrated simply because the people around him at his position are just that much better than him. Like, you ain't underrated, my nigga. You just ain't the best. You just ain't the cream of the crop. It's not like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, what do you classify as, like, what makes a player underrated? Like, what?
Underrated is when your peers acknowledge what you can do, but the mass media or the casuals don't. My prime example for that,
like Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Hold on, but they were saying that before Milwaukee.
Yes,
Drew Holiday been underrated since New Orleans and Philly.
Yes,
yeah.
People knew what Drew Holiday was and what he can do.
Yeah,
but the masses did not.
So
I mean, I did because we drafted him. So I've been locked into Drew Holiday since UCLA.
Yeah. So is it the flash? Is it the numbers? What is it about a player like Drew Holiday where people, because underrated to me sounds like that nigga nice, but people don't give him his credit. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. So what is it about a nigga like Drew Holiday that we clearly can watch and see that dude is nice, and everybody that hoop or watch hoop that really know hoop know he nice.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a player like him and somebody that gets the recognition that maybe he's better than? Who's somebody that Drew Holiday you would take over, but they get the recognition? I'm trying to
well, I got to think about in his prime. Somebody probably like well, damn, I don't know.
It all happens because players like that end up playing in situations where they don't shine for real. Like Chris Webber was Chris Webber, but he played for the Kings. They had Mike Bibby, they had Peja, they had Chris. They had a good team.
Webber was still the guy there, though.
Jason Williams.
Yes, but they weren't. It was like they played good team ball.
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't like Chris Webber was just like outshining everybody else. And the same with Drew. Drew played with Iggy in Philly. Left there, played with Tyreek Evans in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ended up playing with Boogie in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Went to Milwaukee, played with Giannis. Like they just go under the radar. They do
That's
everything.
facts.
They can like be the toughest niggas in the world, but when you're playing next to like superstars,
Yeah.
then
But I do like the point that Kobe made though about like what is underrated and like in terms of like if you can't really point towards them like overtaking a guy ahead of them or more highly rated than them at their position, then it's like when do you kind of be like, well, is he underrated or is he where he's supposed to be?
Hey, I remember one time you was asking us in the group chat years ago, like, well, if it's been 9 NBA dudes that said Jrue Holiday was the most underrated player in the league, is he really underrated?
Yeah, like we've been like, calling Jrue Holiday the most underrated basketball player in the league for at least 5 years, man. Like
it's because the media don't talk about him.
Is he underrated?
But that is the difference, Quentin. You're right. It's like the peers know, but the mainstream media, Stephen A.
Brown, when they win, it's never because of Jrue Holiday.
Yeah.
Even though Jrue Holiday is the one that held the team together to get the win. You know what I'm saying? It's like he don't get the credit for anything that he's ever done.
But he does.
I mean, they do now because
he do now.
He just now started getting that in Boston though.
He do now.
He just now started getting that in Boston.
I feel like he started getting it a little bit in New Orleans towards the end. But I don't know. I just feel like in those type of cases, in which I do think Jrue Holiday has been underrated at certain points in his career, but I feel like that's a name that we throw around so much in the underrated conversation to where it's like, well, is he underrated? We talk about him being underrated all the time.
Yeah. Hey, Q, I just thought about another 90s big man that was a little underrated because he had a short prime too. Vin Baker.
That's a name right there, buddy.
Vin Baker. Shout out Vin Baker.
Lottie. Him too.
Yeah, Vin Baker for sure. Well, yeah, man. That's I don't know.
I just one last question. Chris Webber got my mind going.
Okay.
Elbow passing. You know what I mean? All kind of. Is Jason Williams top 5 white boys of all time?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Jason Williams is white. I didn't know, bro.
I didn't know, bro.